My name is Jazz Takar. On this video, you're going to learn about some of the most dramatic changes that are happening in our real estate business and what you have to know not to just survive, but thrive. There are many things that we can do to succeed in our business, and this webinar will show you the top 3 action steps that every agent must do by working with some of the top agents all over the country. Joining me on this webinar is Simon Giannini, who's a broker with over 25 years of experience. He's the host of the Real Estate Talk Show. He's been featured on BNN, in the National Post, Toronto Star, author of several books, and most importantly, he's the founder of the Real Estate Center and the Mastermind Seminar. Simon has taken all of our research done with thousands of the top agents, and it just reaffirmed everything he's been talking about for over 20 years. So Simon, I want to welcome you to this webinar.
Thanks, Jazz. Glad to be here.
Well, Simon, the obvious question is, what are the top 3 action steps?
Well, I think it's an important question, Jazz, but I want to take a step back. As we talked about, and I'll just kind of backtrack on some of the visuals here, we had the good fortune of working with some of the top realtors all over North America. I personally worked with a company out of California over a decade ago, and essentially what I got to do is a dream job for me because I got to travel from city to city and meet with the top people in all of these different cities all over the U.S. and Canada. And the brilliant thing about it was, because I'm meeting with a business owner in Chicago or Sacramento or Orlando, because I'm in an area that's so far away from them, they're happy to share their ideas. They're not worried about competition. So we created this mastermind group, and the mastermind isn't about one person that's smarter than the rest. The mastermind is sort of the best of the best, sharing ideas amongst themselves and with, as you can see here, some fairly substantial audiences that we got to work with. And we did a survey, and you said it yourself, it reaffirmed exactly what we were talking about. What were the essential steps? Because what we've learned is this. A lot of people come into this business and think they need to do 1,000 things. You don't need to do 1,000 things. You need to do a few simple things, but just a little bit better than everybody else. Because to double your business, you don't need to double your number of leads. You don't need to double your number of listings. You need to get better by 33% in 3 key areas, and that will double your business. Now, it sounds kind of simple when I share with you what the 3 things are, but let's talk about, really what's going on in the market. And this is kind of, if it isn't obvious to you, it's obvious to me. There's constantly an increase in competition, increase in the number of realtors, and at the same time, we're getting pressure from the Competition Bureau the last couple of years, obviously in Canada, to open the MLS up to the general public. We're now looked at as a commodity. What's the solution? You need to differentiate yourself, and you need to create a unique brand that essentially demonstrates to clients that we are a little bit more value than just a commodity. I'm not just a conduit to MLS. I'm providing a lot more value in marketing, preparing your home, helping you find the right home, negotiation, and all of those different things. There's also this going on in our marketplace. There's constantly pressure to lower commissions, and we've seen them come down over the last few years. Sellers expect a higher price. They want to pay as little commission as possible. And at the same time, what's happening is there's low inventory. So I don't know about you, but we've got buyers out there, and we can't find a proper house for them, or we're losing them on multiples. And again, the solution is this. We need to understand how to educate and properly qualify sellers so we can get more quality listing leads. And then once we have those listings, this is one of the oldest secrets of the real estate business, is you need to leverage and market your listings. It's not just doing an open house on the weekend. There's so much more that we can do that can stand out. And when you get one listing, you want to turn that into 3 listings, and you also want to turn that into 5 or 6 or 7 buyer deals and leverage it out and build it out that way. One of the most powerful things that I learned a long time ago is I met a lovely little mortgage broker with a fantastic little business. She was, this tiny little lady in Sacramento, and she built everything you want to know about mortgages or something to that effect. So I went out and started a little report. I wrote a little book, and at the time the little book was like 10, 15 pages, and it was what I knew at the time about real estate. And that grew and grew and grew, and what it turned into was a 100-page report or ebook, and we actually even published it as a book. And this is one of the most powerful tools, is writing a book positions you as an expert. Here's another one as an example. We created a little audio CD. Now, if you've ever held an open house, you know that people come into the open house, and for the most part, they don't want to talk to you. But I'll tell you, I started giving away these audio CDs at my open houses, how to buy a great home at a great price. It was free. I mean, it cost me less than 70, 80 cents, I think, per per piece to reproduce them and give them away. Everybody took them at the open house. And the first time I got a call from a couple literally sitting in their car. I was just finishing up my open house, and they were there earlier. They listened to the CD, and they called and said, listen, we just listened to your CD, and we're looking to buy. Do you have time to work with us? And that was a fantastic call because they were able to sit in their car and hear me talk about, what I knew about the real estate market, which is what most agents know about the real estate market. But all of a sudden, because I had a book or I had a CD, I'm now an expert. So the key is leveraging your time and using marketing systems to generate more lead for us. Here's another trend. If you haven't noticed this, our clients have changed how they search for homes and how they find and communicate with us. They're looking online at realtor.ca, they're searching on Google, and they're communicating with different tools. Email is less and less popular. People are Facebooking each other. It's become a verb. They're Twittering, they're tweeting, they're on YouTube doing research, they're on LinkedIn, depending on the type of business they're in. So the fact is, we need to be more than just a conduit for information. And here's a report put out by NAR, which is the American Association of Realtors National Association, but I think the information is relevant to Canada as well. And here's what's really happening. 88% search online first, 87% still use a realtor, and 73% choose an agent they already know. But here's an interesting thing. 66% use the first agent they talk to. So what do we need to do? Well, working harder is not the solution. And I don't know about you, but sometimes, if you feel the pressure of everything you feel like you should be doing in the business is not what you should be doing. Here's a blog entry on one of our systems, and just look at this. I worked hard, but that was not the solution. When I first began working in real estate, I would go into the office every day. I had to create ads. I would pour over magazines, online courses, no phones ringing, no people walking through the door, basically no distractions. I worked and worked and worked. Then after a few months, I felt so disconnected from my family, I decided to work from home. I would take my laptop to bed. I worked, 15 hours a day. I had 12,000 followers on Twitter, 1,800 friends on Facebook. But I was working so much, I didn't have any money. And, at the end of the day, I didn't have time to go meet people face to face, and I was going broke in the process. We're getting a lot of pressure as realtors to try to do everything, to be all things to everyone, and to do everything we possibly can from a marketing standpoint, and that's not the solution. The solution has always been there. It may sound kind of simple, but the solution has always been there. It's to build more relationships. It's to identify who is ready to buy and sell and get people to contact you first. Because most of us are nice people. Most of us know what we're doing as realtors. If you can just, and you probably said this to yourself, hey, if you can just put me in front of somebody, I'll sell them a house because I know how to help them, I know how to do a good job, and I'm a basically likable person. So, it's these first three steps. And, all this pressure from all these internet companies, I don't know about you, but I still get a lot of spam about SEO and Google placement. You don't need to be an internet expert. You don't need to be on social media all the time, and you don't need to rank #1 on Google. In fact, it's almost impossible, or it's very, very expensive, given that there's almost 40,000 realtors in the GTA. But you do need to use a simple process. You do need to have a website. You do need to be out there, but you need to be able to understand where people are looking, both online and offline, and you only want to focus on the 20% of systems that work and stop doing anything else. See, the big picture, folks, and again, it sounds simple, but there's the right way and the wrong way to implement these critical systems. #1, you need to have systems in place that get you new leads and new clients every single day. #2, you need to understand how to interview and work with those clients and close deals, and there's a method to do that more effectively. And thirdly, probably the place that 98% of realtors fall short on is you need to stay in touch and create lifelong clients every single time. Your job is every single time you do a transaction is to have a client for life that becomes a virtual marketing army for you. I get calls practically every single day. I get calls, I get emails. Hey, my friend wants to buy, my friend wants to sell. Somebody so-and-so gave me your name and number, and that's the best kind of call because there's a trust factor. Those are the easiest clients to work with. So here's in a nutshell why we put this video together. We want you to attend the all-new Mastermind Seminar. There's no cost to attend, and here's what we're going to cover. We're going to cover the paradigm shift in our industry and what's going on. You really need to know what's going on behind the scenes so you know how to take advantage of it, how to profit from this, and what is the three-step strategic formula that the top agents are already using it, and what are the specific marketing systems that they're using to get the results that they're seeing right now. I've been in the business almost 30 years. I'm one of the top 10 realtors in the country, and I'm using these exact same systems. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about making more money. It's about building a profitable real estate business and still having a life and still having time. I want to spend time with my kids. I want to spend time with my friends. I still want to have a life. I go to the gym. I have a normal schedule. And, there is a way it can be done. So one other thing, we've also put together the Ultimate Business Plan, and that is sort of a compilation of all of the best ideas we've seen. And this you're going to have to see firsthand to really understand the magnitude of it, because it's basically a blueprint to design your business the way you want it, because everybody wants a different, different result from their business. So the next Mastermind Seminar is coming up Friday, March 8th, 2013. It's 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's 3 focused hours. It's at our RLP conference room. It's a little smaller than the room you see here, so we have limited seating. We've probably got about, I would say, about 70 seats in that room, and once it's full, it's full. It's in the Don Mills and Lawrence area, right by Toronto Real Estate Board, and when you register, you'll get confirmation with map and directions and everything else, and the next step is up to you. All you have to do is click on the link if you're on the web page, or if you're on YouTube, just send us an email to registration@reccanada.com. And, at the end of the day, if you're not getting the results you want in your business, but you're not doing anything about it, just hoping it changes is not going to change it. And I love this billboard. Some people dream of success, others make it happen. So make it happen. Join us on Friday, March 8th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's no cost to attend, and I guarantee you're going to appreciate being there, and I'm looking forward to seeing you there. This is Simon Giannini with the Mastermind Group. Now go out there and sell something. But before you do, register for the Mastermind Seminar, Friday, March 8th. I'll see you there.